Greetings, folks. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Pick and Day number 15 of my 31 favorite blind buy albums of all time. That's right, we're playing along each and every day here this month. We're talking about those albums that we bought, love the cover, maybe love the name of the band, the logo of the band or artist on the front, live shots, cool painting, cover art. Or maybe someone said, you would really like this band, you should give it a try, but you hadn't heard a note of it and you're thinking, all right, it's being recommended by someone whose opinion I trust. Let me take a chance on this. You buy the album or CD, you bring it home, and you're like, oh, yeah, this was a great blind buy. I'm glad I took the chance on this album. That's what we're getting at. That's what we're talking about all month long. So today is one of those 90s albums that, again, this is, we're right at the beginning of the internet age here. So this is back when I had someone who I met who had a small progressive rock CD retail company. And he and I became pretty friendly. And he would send me his catalog. Now, this is not Ken Golden, Laser's Edge. I did a lot of these with him as well, but this was someone else. CD Treasures, maybe you remember that. For those of you who've been around the block a little bit, maybe you remember CD Treasures from Boise, Idaho. Anyway, he sent me his catalog, and one of the albums he really recommended was by this U.S. band. And again, this is the early mid-'90s, so of course, this is like that new wave of progressive rock. The prog bands were popping up all around the world, U.S., Scandinavia, U.K., right? I mean, it's all of a sudden prog is happening once again, right? After we had that little influx of bands from the U.K. in the 80s. And I happened to see the little photograph image of this album cover by this band, and the guy who owned the company said, yeah, you should really check these guys out. It's a really good album. Just came out. I'm like, okay, I will consider it. So of course I did, and I bought that. This is back when I was buying. I could do a whole, I'm not going to name some other names because there's like a handful of other bands that I investigated blindly during this period, and this was one of them. And this album was released in January of 1995, right at the beginning of the year. It was originally self-released and produced by the band. Originally, then they re-released it on Radiant Records. It also came out re-released on Metal Blade Records at some point in time as well. It's the debut album from California's Spock's Beard, The Light. Now, you take a look at that album cover, and what do you think? That looks like some sort of like children's anime cartoon or fable or something like that. It's got this very, very kind of like prog rockish looking thing there, right? Whatever this, still to this day, never really understood what this cover is all about, but hey, and there's only 4 songs on the whole album, right? One of them's 15 minutes and change, one's 12 minutes, one's 23, and then the short one at the end is 6 minutes long, right? But yeah, I was kind of like, all right, that's pretty cool looking. I think I'm going to get it, bring it home. This is the original CD release, by the way. As you can see, there's no record label listed anywhere on here. This is the original CD release from 1995. This, of course, is the original lineup of the band. Mr. Neil Morse, lead vocals, all sorts of keyboards, electric and acoustic guitar. Alan Morse, his brother, lead guitar, cello, mellotron, vocals. Dave Meros, bass, French horn. Nick DiVirgilio, drums, percussion, backing vocals. Yes, Nick, of course, now also plays drums for, he left Spock's Beard a while ago, but he plays drums for Big Big Train, as well as the Steve Hackett Band, right? So, progressive rock. U.S. progressive rock, heavily influenced by the greats of the 70s, and most specifically the British bands, right? So, of course, Spock's Beard heavily influenced by Gentle Giant, Genesis, Yes, and King Crimson for the most part, right? There's hints of other things in their music, but you have this amazing singer and songwriter and multi-instrumentalist Neil Morse kind of leading the charge here, and of course he's also a massive Beatles fan, so you get this kind of like weird mix of like Beatles, psychedelic pop, and really challenging progressive rock like all those bands I mentioned before. You can hear a lot of Gentle Giant in this music, in the band's music, especially early on. And it opens up with the wonderful title track, "The Light," which has kind of become their like kind of signature song throughout the years. Just such a great track. I've seen the band live a few times. I've seen them play it, and it's just amazing. It's this big multi-part epic, and it's just bombastic. It's dramatic. It's tuneful and melodic, right? All those things rolled into one. "Go the Way You Go," another terrific track. This more of their Beatles influence comes out here. It's a great sing-along chorus. I mean, if most of you watching probably know Neil Morse very well through all of his solo records and the Neil Morse Band and whatnot, and Flying Colors and Transatlantic, right? So you talk about prog rock over the last 30 years. Neil Morse is such a big part of it, regardless of which bands he was a part of, right? "The Water" is the big sprawling epic on here. Again, lots of really complex interplay between all the musicians. Great keyboard work and the guitars, the bass, the whole 9 yards of drumming. I mean, it's off the charts. Great vocal harmony, so good. And then the last track is "On the Edge," right? Which again is the shorter, more punchier track on here, but still really, really good. It's a really classic debut album from a really classic band in modern progressive rock times, right? Just so good. And they would come out with another album not that long afterwards called "Beware of Darkness," which I really like a lot. Of course, titled after the George Harrison song. They do an amazing cover. It's like one of those great covers, really, really good. Kind of made the song their own. And Spock's Beard have a lot of really, really strong albums that they've released after that. Of course, Neil Morse left eventually. After the album "Snow," and became born again Christian, wanted to take a different route musically and thematically, lyrically, that sort of thing, and had felt he had to break away from the band to kind of make his statement. And he's got tons of solo albums, in the Christian prog, and he's again formed part of the supergroup Transatlantic and also part of the supergroup Flying Colors, and then put together the really cool progressive rock / progressive metal super band, the Neil Morse Band with Mike Portnoy and company, right? This guy's always involved in something pretty cool. So that's my pick for today. "The Light." Very cool, whimsical cover. But this very indicative of a lot of progressive rock album covers around this time period. A lot of the stuff that I was buying had these very kind of almost like children's book kind of look to them, this kind of like fantasy type of thing going on, or mysterious thing, right? These little round people or whatever on here, whatever they are, right? If you look at there's more of them, right? It's kind of cool, right? But I was instantly drawn to it. I thought the name was really cool, Spock's Beard. What is that all about, right? But yeah, awesome album. That's my blind buy pick for today. Let us know what you think of Spock's Beard, "The Light" down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. And we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options, all down below. Thanks in advance for all your support, folks. It's greatly appreciated. We'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.